Guys, oh my god.
No way did you just say that.
It's not.
That was an L Rose. Hey, yo, my man.
Who has dared to woke me up?
Okay, alright.
At least say it, bro. Shut your mouth. Shut your big fan. I will set for life. Oh my god. Ugh. My bad, I just ate dinner.
Okay.
I made lunch.
Okay, so guys, you heard it here.
And bro, China's making everything, bro. I mean, I was drinking the juice my mom gave me for lunch. And bro, I looked at the cup. It said, made in China. Like, bro. Skinny little nothing. Oh yeah, also I'm watching Fulton. Nope. And I died. Oh my god. Stupid. Yoink, yoink, yoink.
Okay.
Bro, you stupid.
He's a felon.
Bro, why does he have aimbot?
Oh, he's got 8 bars of shoes?
Broski actually has aimbot, Broski.
He's a real friend. He is such a good friend.
He has aimbot. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Dang!
Come on, just die. Just die. Nobody wants you here, bro. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. No! Wait. He's friendly. If he's not in the water, he's friendly.
Oh, wow. Oh, no. Here we go. I knew you were getting close. Yesterday. He literally wore the same exact outfit yesterday. Why is he changing? He only has one good fit.
Oh, so when I said I'm watching Fulton, I meant Fulton.
Yeah, just forget it, bro.
Oh, wait. I have an idea.
Uh-oh. Yo. You're pretty.
Oh my god!
Okay.
I don't know how to put this.
Good, but then, what's really bad?
Oh my jeez, that guy is so freaking annoying. Holy my style. There we go.
She was literally just like out on a date. What happened? Well, your son suffered pretty significant brain hemorrhage. Yeah. Is he gonna be okay? Honestly, it's too early to tell. We've managed to get the bleeding in his brain under. In the brain? He's been unconscious for quite a while. We need to keep him under close watch to see how he'll respond. Oh my gosh. He is going to wake up. You better hope so. Say, sure. But there is room for optimism. It could have been a lot worse. Whoa. That's so sad. Hey.
Nothing.
Is he okay? He's in a coma, Ronnie. They said his brain is bleeding. I know. But he's a tough little dude. Okay.
Anyways, that guy sucked. And so this Friday is mine. I was literally getting tortured by trying to kill that guy.
They exist. I know, I'm surprised too. It's almost like when your game relies on community-made levels, the vast majority of them are going to be not good. But you know what? Everyone starts somewhere, and there's no point in focusing on these kind of tons of masterpieces they could be experiencing instead. But at the same time, it's content. How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be playing levels from the recent time. I sure hope there aren't any bad ones.
Oh, yeah.
Lately, I've been thinking a lot about the bad levels in Geometry Dash, because at the end of the day, it's a big part of the game's culture. Sure, you could just not play them, but what about the map hack levels that you need a separate group of extra coins? Or the world's smallest violation which that get millions of views? Or maybe that a demon level you just don't like? You can ignore these levels all you want, but they are there and they are popular. Sometimes more so than levels that actually deserve to be in the spotlight. But what's the worst level in Geometry Dash? Like the absolute lowest of low. I wanted to solve this for a long time, but there are literally tens of
Flint and steel! Flint and steel!
maybe it's the most disliked rated level in the game, which is this auto level with various obstacles that probably came out back when maybe every
Flint and steel! Flint and steel!
Which led me to this strange two-player level. In reality, there just aren't any good ways to conclusively find a single worst level.
Flint and steel! Flint and steel! Flint and steel!
Do I look like MapPad to you? Seriously, why am I wasting my time trying to find some
Anyways.
evidence when the worst level is very obviously Generation Retro? This is the final level of the Poison Gauntlet, which means that 5 million people were forced to play through it, and 5 million therapists were probably called shortly after.
Where
This
is the
level
cave?
is terrible. Just skip
Look,
it,
look,
back
look.
it even. Nobody has to know. So,
Look.
where did it all go wrong?
I think there's a cave over there.
Arcade games like Pong and Breakout have taken the world by storm, and Japanese
Let's go over
game
there.
developer Tomohiro Nishikado was determined to make the most captivating and
Look, we have a flint and steel, so we're probably good. Except there's an Enderman. Nah, Endermans. They're not that annoying.
The way it worked was simple.
I think it's good.
Aliens are making their way towards the bottom of the screen.
Okay,
You
we're
have to
fine.
destroy them all while dodging their bullets.
Okay, I think we're good.
The game ended up being a massive success.
We can just burn the mobs and try not to burn the enemy.
Arcades to give it a try. Space Invaders would go on to be one of the most influential video games of all time and a massive turning point in the history of gaming. Anyways, fast forward to late 2015, and a Spanish Geometry Dash creator by the name of Aratza woke up one morning and felt like tarnishing the game's entire legacy. Thankfully, 4 years later, it was restored by MDK and Temine. Everywhere you look in Generation Retro, there's aliens from Space Invaders. In fact, there's even a section where they make up the gameplay itself. So really, there's no denying that the game had a huge
This is a useless cave.
Of course, Generation Retro isn't the first level to do the whole Space Invaders thing.
Look.
I'm sure the first one to come to mind is Betray, which came out a few months prior in Update 1.9, and is currently the most liked level in the entire game. And these little aliens showed up in lots of other ones.
Is that the
Hyper Arcade is uninstalled. The pixel art was easy to make.
Oh.
So really, why not? Generation Retro.
Is that on the village that we went to in episode 2?
Even if there's no direct mention of Space Invaders. But this just begs the question, why is there a poison cone? Remember, this level was handpicked over thousands of other ones. The early knowledge don't stick to the game all that well, but that's because most of the levels in that aren't deep. Generation Retro very clearly is, and the only thing that's strong is that it was put in a poison gauntlet because the level is finished. Sharp. And if maybe it's because the boss fight is just the final level of the gauntlet, but Fire fell on level 1, so, we had spoilers for the boss fight. By the way, Gauntlet's released in 2017, and this level came out
I don't think this is the same one that I went to in episode 2.
This one's good at everything. This is the creator's only recent level, so they were well known. No exception if a couple of times so I can play it, but this one is generally forced on me. But finding an Gauntlet level officially endorsed is part of the game's core progression. If you're not familiar with Gauntlets, they're collections of 5 developer-picked levels that you play through for cool rewards. Map packs just give you coins, which you don't need after a certain point, but this Gauntlet has an unlockable player color tied to it, so you're really encouraged to give it a shot. And that's why I think this is the worst level. Not only is it an absolute
Yep, this is definitely not the one from episode 2. We found a new village, guys. Because I remember the village that we went to didn't have an iron golem. And we're gonna kill him for iron.
Scarlet Surge. Like, seriously, what do people have against Scarlet Surge? I played through it and it's fine. My only real complaint is that it's long, and while the gameplay's perfectly fair and readable, it's all that interesting. Also, the level has a lot of flashing lights.
Come on, kill him.
It's a nightmare for photosensitive players, so taking it for the most important element
There we
of the
go.
game is extremely inconsiderate of
5 iron? That is so good. That is so good. I don't think we even have to go to the cave anymore.
Level opens with a black screen and some blinking text that says the cute callback to old arcade games. Like Space Invaders. Your icon flashes slides in from the side of the screen, and Bossfight's 2015 Hood classic Glitch Gremlin fades in from exactly 190 seconds. The name of the song is apparently a reference to this character from the Angry Video Game Nerd YouTube series.
Anyways.
It's basically a web show where this guy plays bad games for content and makes jokes about them. So initially the level is pitch black, but when you hit the first jump pad, all the decorations appear. It sets this cool cyber retro theme, and you've got these Space Invaders aliens plastered everywhere because world building. I wouldn't say that the art style is a weak point for this level, but it is very copy and paste, and there's all sorts of clashing decorations that don't go well with each other, like the glowing blocks and the spinning whirlwind things. Also, do you notice something about the pixel art? It's got these weird diagonal lines slicing through it, and I can guarantee you, this is not a style choice. What you're seeing here is someone who did not know that the editor has pixel blocks. So instead, they used this little square-shaped 3D decoration since it's the next best thing. This was a pretty common practice back in 1.9, but it immediately became obsolete after that since scaling and pixel blocks were added. And it's very unlikely that the level was started in 1.9 since the first click of the entire level is a green orb.
There's a Peligra post over there. We should remember that for later episodes.
And they're not even built right. Speaking of that green orb, if you don't hit the blue one directly after it, you just...
It's not that way.
This is a pretty innocent mistake that's present in a lot of levels, but I kid you
Oh,
not,
we have to go
every
down.
single
I'm
round
trying to
you
go back
change
to
in
the
this
base.
level has that problem. There are 0 ceiling spikes or saws anywhere in the
So
level.
go back down.
And if you miss a jump while upside down, you either have to wait a couple seconds or pause the game and manually restart, which is a feature that isn't even on by default for whatever reason. It's stuff like this that makes it extremely clear that this level has next to 0 playtesting, and there is infinitely more proof to back that up. For example, if you don't buffer all 3 of these...
So if I remember correctly, we're going from over there.
...shoot on the yellow orb and die to this genius structuring. I guess I should also address the lore of this level. It'll pick up further on, but for now we're introduced to this angry red alien with eyes that break the rules of pixel art. He welcomes you to the level, and that's about it for now. But he'll be really important later, trust me. Shortly after his epic introduction, you're hit with an invisible mini portal that causes you to bounce lower on this jump pad, and then you hit another invisible portal that changes you back. Right off the bat, I have so many questions. Why are the portals invisible? Why is there a mini portal anyways? Why are you immediately changed back before you even make a single click? For some reason, lots of levels used to have invisible mini portals like this, and I've never understood why. Like, it doesn't add anything to the level, it's just a great loss of control and an extra layer of confusion. And in the context of this level, it doesn't even sync to the music, which is kind of unexplainably big. Well, actually, maybe not as unexplainable as this random fading block. I think the intent is that it's supposed to save you if you decide to leap off this block for whatever reason.
That's why I don't think it's over there.
Like, why was it accounted for?
Is our house? My house is in a plains biome, but also at the same time it's not like a super big mountain like that one.
If you want to allow jumping here, this block is like the worst possible solution because of how much it clashes.
And also, we didn't even go through an ocean. I think there is an ocean right there.
It looked like part of the regular gameplay, but nope, apparently that's too much work for older run style. By the way, we're like 5% into the level so far. I just figured I'd point that out. There's this blue pad a little bit.
It is kind of a plains biome. Look, we're gonna go check that over there.
It's still super doable. It's worth bringing up though, since there are going to be much worse ones later down. And in case you're not familiar with the term, a blind jump is essentially any jump where you're unable to see what's up ahead. For example, if I were to put a jump directly after a long drop downwards, it would be considered blind because you don't have any time to process it. Moving on, there's a whole bunch of blue pads here building up to the song's drop, and the level is even friendly enough to remind you of its name. This part is fine for a build-up, but I would tweak this last bit right before the drop since I think it's a little awkward. After the base kicks, you enter a robot part, and it's definitely something. More specifically, jank. It flows poorly, and all the jumps feel kind of weird. It also expects some new decoration and effects after the drop, but it's still the same old aliens and green stuff.
I think it's here. Yeah, it's definitely here. Now that I see it, it's not really that big of a mountain. Like our house.
Of course, I have to like this random key.
Like the wrong part.
Unmissable. Unlocks a door directly next to it. This could have been a cool idea, but it's the only key door in the entire level.
But first of all,
random addition. Like, what is the key providing here other than added confusion? Technically, Meltdown did this with the 7 Cs, but at least there it syncs with the music and feels like a gateway to the real level. This key is sort of just here. And it goes even deeper.
I think I remember this block.
The key is pixelated, but the keyhole isn't. So they don't even look like they match up. And get this, the keys are pixel blocks. So for some reason, all the aliens are built with the ugly 3D tiles, while the twin keys only pixel art and level should be assembled correctly. And funny enough,
I'm looking at the chest. If we're going the right way. Yep, we're going the right way.
The creator didn't want to add their own pickup animation. But what breaks me more than anything is that if you manage to miss the key, It disappears anyways. The gate doesn't open, but the key just kind of pieces out. What was the thought process behind this? Like, they clearly know how to make triggers that activate untouched because the gate's still closed. But why not do that for the key disappearing? I
Where's
just
the
don't
house?
get it. After that
Oh, wait.
monstrosity, there's another
Is it
moving
that
plot
close to the
pops up out of
village?
nowhere, and it's kind of funny because this one isn't even tied to
That's
a
the
gear.
old village because I can
I don't
see
expect consistency from this level, but I'm just
I
desperately
can
trying to find
definitely see
something
that
decent to cling
the
onto. After
that
jumping off
building
the
over there
platform,
that
there's a
I'm
gravity portal which leads into another blank jump, where
pointing
you'll
at
probably
is
either run into
definitely
light or
destroyed.
miss the blue orb and fly off the map again.
Just like I
Don't go
did.
as far as to say that this part requires
I just read it.
memorization, but you do need to be ready for it. As far as lore goes, we run into the red alien again, and he looks normal at first, but suddenly turns angry and yells "No!" before flying off screen. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean, so don't ask me. At first I thought he was mad that you're inside the level or something like that, but this is the same alien that welcomes you at the start, so I kind of thought he wanted you to stick around. Once you pass him, there's a custom teleport portal that also flips your gravity, and honestly, I think it's fun.
Yep, it's
very
destroyed.
clear how it works, and I think it's
So
quite nice on the
done.
level. But what's weird is that if you walk off the platform and fall off the map, you pass by this weird circular thing that's not normally viewable. It's not a coin, and it doesn't have any group IDs attached to it. It's kind of creepy, honestly. Maybe it's an eyeball or
I may literally have to
symbol.
rewatch
I
episode
really
2.
have no idea, but I'd love to hear your theories on this. You can also see it if you skip this green orb, because again, this level has no ceiling.
Wait.
But this time the actual eyeball shaped part has disappeared.
Okay, so the cave, the useless cave that we went is over there.
Ignoring that, next we reach a wave portal where the walls don't appear until it's a little too late. The gameplay here isn't that bad.
So we were
but it's a wave
here.
farm, so as long as you place a bunch of
So
spells,
if we
it's
just
really
keep
capable.
continuing
There's
on
also
over
a queen
here,
up
we
here, which is in a pretty
should
generic spot for a custom level,
go
but it's
to my
not
house.
miracle-like.
Think.
There's a custom coin texture as well, and sure enough, it's made with pixel blocks while all the aliens in the background aren't. And it's also the exact opposite of the key from earlier, because this time the coin doesn't disappear regardless of if you touched it or not. Also, this is where the level begins to take a dark turn, because suddenly everything goes red and flashy, and before you know it, there's a virus detected. It's just like they warned us about. By the way, there's another invisible portal here. You haven't enough time to react to it, but this is like the single worst game mode to have an invisible mini portal in. There's really no reason why it had to be invisible, and it's not like it would have made the level.
I'm still looking for my own house.
Have you looked at this?
Dang.
Next up is a ball part, and
I don't even know where my own
unexpected
house
turn of
is.
events, those aliens from the background are now the main objects supporting you. And feast your eyes on those beautiful hitboxes. There's an invisible blue pad that does the first move for you, and I'd prefer if it was visible, but it's not like it'll mess you up in any way. The real problem with this ball part is this infamous alien right here, because it looks like an ordinary platform, just like the 4 that came before it, but when you touch it, it turns evil and kills you on the spot. Get trolled. So funny. This is why I have trust issues. Okay, look, I'm not going to deny that there are some visuals to help you out. The alien isn't animated like the others are, and there's a down arrow to nudge you in the right direction. But
I don't know where I'm going.
This stupid alien is in such a tempting spot. I feel like I need to
I should have
land
not
there
built my
because
house
it
in the
just
mountain.
feels right. Even when I'm well aware that it kills you, I still find myself trying to hit this platform again and again. It's tempting to the point that it's messing with my brain. This isn't a troll. This is psychological torture. I think the reason this spot is such a big punch in the gut is because it's a memory part in a level that you don't expect to be about memory. Don't get me wrong, there are many levels where you have to memorize things. It's super popular among demon levels, and some of them, like Limbo, are masterpieces. But the difference is that those are levels you play because they're memory levels. So when you die to something you were supposed to memorize, you're not going to be surprised. A good analogy for this is playing Extreme Demon versus playing an easy 2-star level that suddenly turns into an Extreme at the very end. The first one sets your expectations properly, and you have a good idea of what you're getting yourself into. But with the second one, it's unfair. It's not what you wanted from the level, and it leaves you feeling betrayed, like the creator doesn't care about you. And it's especially bad for casual players who just wanted to play something relaxing. In the context of Generation Retro, I think most of the expectations are set by the fact that it's only 6 stars, and the gameplay so far has been relatively straightforward. There's a couple spots that you might have to memorize due to bad placement or unpredictable triggers, but when you die to this alien, which the level clearly wants you to do, this is when you realize it's all on purpose. The level hates you, the creator hates you, and the stupid red alien, well, I don't know, maybe he's just misunderstood. There's also further expectations set by this level being in a gauntlet, since in order to get to this level, you have to beat 4
Wait, isn't this the first where we appear in
Memory
episode 1?
parts aren't inherently bad. They're just bad when they show up in places where you don't want them. And this level has no shame. The earlier memory parts were innocent enough, but this one feels like it's spitting directly in your face.
Oh my god.
So you're just supposed to go down. There's an invisible blue pad because the game thinks you're too stupid to press a button. And then this blue alien shows up and he's like, hey, he serves as a platform to cross a small gap, and then he disappears forever. Or does he? There's something so funny
I
to me
want
about
to
how
end this
his
episode and
black
just come back
there's
when
him, but maybe
I
it's
find my
artistic
base.
choice. Also, there's no decoration.
I mean, I'm gonna
around
try to
or
find
even
my
on the
base
blue
after I
glass
end this
stuff.
episode, and
So
then
scrap all the memory stuff I said earlier, because this is
tomorrow,
the real
hopefully,
grind.
we're
The
in my
rest of the
base.
part is fine. The alien hitboxes still suck, and the most
But
notable thing to point out is probably this UFO that we were with for a little bit. There's no visual hint for it, and it's very unnecessary, but
yeah, I'm just gonna
so
end the
romantic to
stream.
this level. You probably
I'm
won't
gonna
get
continue
to it,
tomorrow.
and
Hopefully, I
the
find
aliens
my
are so
base.
low to the point that that's good enough for me.
See you.